Throughout history, high-stakes conflicts have given rise to stark and often incendiary rhetoric from political leaders. When an official or minister makes a statement signaling an uncompromising or dive deeper, Israeli Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich stated that true victory for Israel will only be achieved when Gaza is destroyed and Palestinians are displaced to other countries. This was shared during a conference focused on Jewish settlements in the West Bank. Smotrich's remarks, while significant as a senior official, do not reflect the official stance of the Israeli government. He mentioned that within a year, Israel would declare victory in Gaza by eliminating Hamas and terrorism. He proposed that civilians in Gaza would be relocated to a humanitarian zone in the south, eventually leading to their migration to third countries, indicating a severe shift in policy towards the Palestinian population. This statement came just after Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's government approved a plan to take control of Gaza for an unspecified duration, suggesting a more aggressive military approach. Netanyahu described the upcoming military operation as intensive and aimed at relocating more Palestinians to southern Gaza for their safety, which raises concerns about the humanitarian impact of such actions. The Israeli cabinet's plan, which includes a gradual expansion of Israeli forces into southern Gaza, is contingent on whether a hostage deal is reached before a scheduled visit by President Trump. Dubbed Operation Gideon's Chariots, the plan aims to weaken Hamas by preventing the distribution of humanitarian aid, which Israel believes strengthens Hamas's grip on power in Gaza, while also planning significant military strikes against Hamas targets. Even aggressive stand toward another group, such as vowing to destroy a region or suggesting that an entire population must be displaced. Such words rarely stem from a single motivation. Instead, these statements are woven from a tapestry of political calculation, emotional reaction, and strategic planning. The context of ongoing violence and insecurity can push leaders toward harsh declarations. As tensions escalate and the sense of threat mounts, there is often a perceived need to project strength and resolve. Leaders may intentionally adopt tough language, presenting themselves as unwavering protectors of their nation in the hopes of both reassuring their supporters and warning adversaries. This posture, sometimes described as being the world's tough guy, or more crudely, as an asshole of the world, is rarely about personal animosity alone. Rather, it is often a reflection of the belief that uncompromising firmness is necessary to deter further attacks and demonstrate national resilience in the face of adversity. Yet, behind the scenes, political maneuvering plays a significant role. Contentious statements are often aimed as much at internal audiences as at external foes. Within any country, and especially in societies under siege or conflict, political leaders are subject to pressure from various factions. Hardliners demanding more drastic action, moderates urging caution, and a general populace yearning for safety. By delivering bold pronouncements, a leader can galvanize support among their base, silence critics, and consolidate power. The narrative of standing firm can be a powerful unifier, even as it stirs further controversy abroad. These dynamics appear vividly in the statements surrounding the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. When an Israeli minister declares that victory is contingent on the destruction of Gaza or the removal of Palestinians, the language is both a product and a driver of deep divisions. Such remarks may be intended to signal that the status quo will not be tolerated and that only total victory will suffice. At the same time, the underlying messages reach various audiences within Israel itself, some of whom may be demanding strong action in the midst of violence and fear, others who may see such rhetoric as a negotiating tactic or a defensive necessity. Another factor at play is the broader strategic or psychological impact. In periods of war or intense conflict, rhetoric serves to unsettle adversaries and embolden allies. Leaders may believe that by speaking forcefully, they can weaken the morale of their opponents or set the terms for future negotiation. Sometimes, the act of making a controversial or extreme statement is seen as resetting the international conversation, shifting the Overton window of what is deemed possible or acceptable. However, such statements are not without profound consequences. Words carry power, not only in their capacity to reflect intent, but also in their ability to shape events. Inflammatory language often fuels cycles of hatred, mistrust, and violence, making compromise and peace ever more elusive. International observers, human rights organizations, and other governments frequently respond with concern or outright condemnation, seeing talk of mass displacement or destruction as contributing to instability and humanitarian crises. Emotions, too, are inescapable in these moments. Leaders, like all people, can be swayed by anger, frustration, or the grief of loss. In the heat of ongoing conflict, measured language sometimes gives way to raw expression, which may or may not reflect formal policy, but nevertheless leaves a lasting mark on collective memory and discourse. Ultimately, whether calculated or spontaneous, such statements underscore the enormous complexity and high stakes of modern conflict. The world watches and reacts, urging restraint, seeking diplomatic solutions, and reminding those in power that words are never merely words. They are blueprints for action, with the power to either perpetuate cycles of destruction or open the door to enduring peace.